Wow. So if that's true, the Foz is gone. Now, you know I have a history with Michael Fazio that goes way back, and he's done a lot of things that put me through hell and turmoil. I'm going to try to look past that. Now, I had said this whole time that this was going to be the year. I really thought it was going to be 2023 because he really never kept up with his health conditions. He's the kind of guy that thought that distilled water was going to, solve his problem with his leg. I knew better than that. I know you guys joke around about, Frank thinks he's a doctor, this and that. No, I don't think I'm a doctor. A lot of it is just common sense, really. When your foot swells up like that, or when he's had this chronic infection in his leg for so long, and you remember seeing those pictures, I couldn't believe, I really found it hard to believe what I was looking at when Michael produced those craters in his foot and leg. I said hyperbaric treatment was the only thing that was going to help this guy. I tried, whether he was my favorite person or not, in my own way, and even privately, which you don't know. What you guys don't know is that I write Michael Fazio now and then, and it's not to jump on his case at all. Sometimes I actually wrote him to give him some advice. These are little things that you don't know about me. Despite the obvious friction between me and Michael Fazio, I have sent him many emails in regards to some of his health conditions with some suggestions and telling him that he needs to take care of this, that despite the bad history that we have together. Yes, I've done that. Of course, you wouldn't know that because I don't share everything. I'm not going to share my emails to Michael. But I actually have, despite his collaboration with my tenants in that whole situation. And he was very instrumental in giving them videos and everything else. But I'm not going to concentrate on today's show on the bad of Michael. Michael, if he's really gone, if this is not some elaborate hoax, which I don't think it is, otherwise John Blaze would be a real shithead. Not that he's not, but who would ever say that about somebody when they're not, One thing I've never done on here is spread rumors that somebody was dead. I've never done that. I would never do that. Now, don't forget, John Blaze, he wasn't always pro Michael Fazio, so now he's like the giving eulogies or something about him. It's funny how John Blaze, I told you, he goes over the fence, back and forth. Now all of a sudden he was Fazio's good buddy and he really gives a shit about him. He did not always give a shit about Michael Fazio. I just want to bring this up foremost and up front because, this is the kind of guy, John Blaze, that would give me $600 to go to my lawyer, right? Then he'd go on the attack of me later on. And he was against Fazio at many points in the past. Then all of a sudden, he visits him and he's good friends with him. Okay, well, I'm not gonna concentrate on that. I just wanted to make that known. That all of a sudden he's taken the high road. John Blaze is taking the high road when it comes to Michael Fazio, Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Okay? I don't need a fucking doctor degree to figure out that all the factors came together. I knew what his diet was like. He told everybody he ate a lot of pork, tons of pork. Then he went on this horrible diet and he said it was under doctor's supervision. What kind of a doctor was it? Now, I will disagree with John on another thing too, because the way he's talking about the Philippines, oh yeah, you live here, you're going to die. They do have good hospitals in the Philippines. I have to disagree. Doctors Hospital, Chonghua, these are good hospitals. And I think in Michael Fazio's situation, he could have had this situation taken care of. You know that. Philippines ain't that bad. Now, maybe a heart situation, I'd be a little bit, maybe a little bit untrusting of the doctors in the Philippines. But I think beyond that, I think the doctors here in the Philippines do the best job that they can. For most situations, maybe a heart situation or something, maybe I'd be very skeptical about this. So I'm not going to do a show here where I'm going to down Michael Fazio. I'm just making a note that no, he was not my favorite person. I'm not going to suddenly say, oh, what a great guy he is. I can't do that. Not even in his death. I can't do that because he was a great guy to me. And he was instrumental. He was instrumental behind not just me, but other people too, in trying to make people's life miserable. Okay, no, I'm not going to dance on his grave, and I'm not going to piss on his grave or anything like that. I'm not going to say I'm sorry. Look, I'm being truthful here, and I'm not going to play the John Blaze role. All of a sudden, Fazio was his good friend. Because that's bullshit. He knows it too. That's complete bullshit. Okay, I'm not going to shed a tear. I am not going to shed a tear. Nor would I shed a tear for the other guy that's sitting in jail. That ain't going to happen because both individuals have brought a lot of stress and grief to my life. They have. I'm not going to sit here doing this upload and say, oh, what a great guy he was. He wasn't a great guy. To who? Well, not to me. Not to me. However, I don't laugh at death. And actually, no matter who it is, the big difference is I'm not going to laugh at somebody's dying. And I'm actually not going to celebrate it either. Death is very final. I'm not that callous, and I never will be. I'm simply saying I'm not going to shed a tear over this situation at all. I'm sorry, but that ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't mean that I'm being cold, okay? You got to understand the dealings I've had with this guy. One less fucking troll. Jack Thompson, another one. He's supposed to have died too. All the trolls are dying off. He wasn't my favorite person either. I'm not going to shed a tear about him. I'm not going to shed a tear about the other guy being in jail and what he's facing in the future. I'm just not going to do that. Maybe this is the year. This is the year where karma came through and came through fucking big. No, because I'd be a fucking hypocrite. I'd be a hypocrite. I'd be a hypocrite to say, oh, I feel so bad. I feel so bad for these people. I don't feel bad. That doesn't mean that I wish death on them, but I'm not going to shed a tear. Well, he was never my friend to begin with. If he was a personal friend, I'd be thinking differently. What a great loss. Sure, he was entertaining, that's for damn sure. On a level that some people could hardly believe. He was really eccentric, which is a kind word of saying that he's fucking crazy. But I'll be kind and call him eccentric. No. I would be the biggest hypocrite in the world if I made a show and said that, you know, I'm going to shed a tear. Some of you might think that's cold. No. You don't share my history with Michael Fazio. You don't share my history. Now, unlike Popeye and others, I didn't wish that he'd be in the hospital with a toe tag on him. No, that's not the way I float. Popeye and those kind of people, and Roberto and people like that, are the kind of people that do that kind of stuff. That's not me. The same thing like when, what's his name, had died of a heart attack and they made fun of him like it was a funny thing that happened. Well, I'm not going to make fun of Michael. If this is true, you got to believe how skeptical I am on here when people, talk about it. But I'm going to assume it's true because I know he's been off YouTube for quite a while. That's unusual for him because he always has something to say. And I've seen his foot, how swollen it was. He probably had an edema or something going on there. Probably. But I knew this was going to happen. The progression of his health, I've seen it. What his body went through when he went through this diet was not healthy. He could have used money to get some good medical care, but Michael Fazio did not want to spend the money. He's just that way. Well, hopefully Daisy will benefit from this, for being friends with him. And John Blaze is right about one thing. Before the vultures get to it, maybe she'll find that pot of gold that he's been sitting on for a long time somewhere in a tool chest or something. Good for Daisy. Somebody has to get it. But I'm just making it very clear. No, I'm not being cold like you think I am about this. I'm just being indifferent. Nothing wrong with my memory. There's nothing wrong with my memory at all. Nothing. And I'm not going to sit here and be a liar. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and say that it's a sad day for me. I can't do that. I just can't. Just like that other guy in jail croaked. For him, I'd probably celebrate, which puts Michael Fazio in a higher position. Because I'm not celebrating. I'm not going to celebrate the death of Michael Fazio. I'm not going to do that. In fact, what you probably know, or some don't know, is that I tried to make amends with this guy, even what he did to me. There was a period of time that we both made an effort to not attack each other on here. You remember, if you've been listening into this, then you know what I'm talking about. I tried, okay, but some things just don't work. So if you valued anything about Michael Fazio, if you felt that he gave some value to YouTube, certainly did for entertainment purposes, even I'll say that, he was very entertaining. But again, for the 6th time or 5th time, I'm going to say, I'm not going to shed a tear about this man and what he tried to do to me. I have a personal thing that was going on with me and him. You got to understand that. It was even legal. But even so, never really wished death on Michael. But I knew from following his health conditions, knowing his diet, knowing his lack of cardio, knowing that he's been obese for the best part of his life, adult life, that it was inevitable. It was inevitable. And not like it's like a big surprise to anybody on here. I talked about this even last year, and I thought last year something was going to happen. I truly did. I was wrong, but I knew it was inevitable. It couldn't have gone on too much longer than that. He was not living in very sanitary conditions. That did not help his situation at all. I never understood that. I just never really did. I don't think Michael was broke, and I just feel this way, that if you're going to live in the Philippines, at least he could have got a studio apartment. Nice running water and a toilet and safe and clean. But he was a pack rat. That's why he'd be living in that situation. I can't see anybody living like that. I never understood his train of thought that if he had money, always said he did. Even a studio apartment would have been tremendously helpful. And I've actually, as I said, what you guys don't know, I've had private communication with Michael. Despite our past, despite what he did to me, we used to communicate on email. It's for real. We did. Even 4 weeks ago. And I wasn't writing him to call him a name. I wasn't yelling at him. I wasn't doing anything like that. I was giving him advice. I was saying that, hey, we're at odds and all that, but you need to do something about this. And this goes back several years, especially when I seen the craters on his feet and leg. I immediately researched something, and I said that the only treatment he needs is going to be hyperbaric, to force oxygen into the tissues, into his leg, to kill the bacteria. I've said this to him many times. So yes, I actually tried to help Michael Thomas Fazio, whether you want to believe that or not. Not more I could say about this, and I think I said a lot. Death is very final. So, for that part, I do feel sorry for Michael in that part. Because I really felt that he could have turned his life around. He could have if he wanted to. He didn't want to. I was the only one giving him medical advice. There were other people that were giving him medical advice. So now what? Lost Jack Thompson, Lost Michael Fazio. Isn't that guy Joe in the Philippines or something passed away? Now we got Rickshaw with bone cancer. Tell you, they're dropping like flies. Should I feel sorry for trolls? That's a good question. Well, it's according. How bad of a troll were they? What did they do to me? I know the very same people would be dancing on my grave if I passed away. You'd be dancing on my grave. So am I supposed to be a hypocrite? I can't be a hypocrite. I'm sorry. You could be a hypocrite. I'm not going to be a hypocrite like John Blaze. John Blaze was not always friendly with Michael Fazio. Shame on you, John Blaze. All of a sudden, you're practically giving a eulogy for this guy. And we remember the times that you were attacking Michael Fazio, John, Larry. What a fucking hypocrite you are. Now you want to take the high road. John Blaze wants to take the high road. He was a good friend. Really? I don't remember being that way in the beginning. I'm sorry, but I just don't remember that. I just don't. But again, I'm not going to dance on his grave. I'm not going to piss on his grave. But I sure do it for somebody else. If that sounds cold, I don't give a shit. See, I am alive. I have a life. And when somebody steps on my toes that bad, that they actually hurt my toes, almost breaking them, and they cause pain to my feet, pain to my heart, cause me stress. I can't bring myself to the point where, I'm going to feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for Michael Fazio. I don't. If you knew how deeply involved he was in a legal situation in Hawaii, you would not, if you were in my shoes, feel sorry for Michael Thomas Fazio. And I don't. And I'm not going to pretend to be a hypocrite like other people and all of a sudden give him a big eulogy and say what a great man he was. He was not a great man to me. Not going to lie. It means I'll be like everybody else with all the bullshit, contradictory people who jump sides of the fence back and forth, and when somebody dies, so he was my good friend. No, he wasn't. If everybody has a memory, they'll know what I'm talking about. John Blaze. Because he met him, he became his good friend. We remember when John Blaze was attacking Michael Fazio in the past. Keep that in your mind. I'm just trying to remind you people. I'm just trying to remind. Sorry, but my life needs to go on. And if there are people that are causing pain, stress, money, legal shit, and causing harm to me and the woman that I love, I'm not going to sit here and say, that's a goddamn shame. Now, under any other circumstances, I would feel sorry for Michael Thomas Fazio. Too much water under the bridge with this guy. I just can't hold a candle for him. And I won't. And I won't. Give me credit for not lying. Give me credit for not being a hypocrite. I'm telling you how I feel. Of course it's sad that somebody passes on because that's final. I did not wish for his death. In fact, as I said, behind the scenes, even on my own channel, I have given advice to Michael Fazio, what he can do to help his situation out. So I don't want to hear no bullshit about that. I actually tried to help Michael Thomas Fazio. And if you listen to my show enough, you know damn well I did. But you don't know what went on behind the scenes because I would write to Michael here and there. Believe it or not, occasionally he would write me back with something. He'd give me information. Yep, true. Well, anyway, that ends the chapter here. Call it karma, call it whatever the hell you want. But to me, it's one less fucking troll. And Jack Thompson was a troll. He's one less troll for him. He didn't like me. I don't feel sorry for Jack Thompson either. If that other guy croaks in fucking jail, I'm not going to feel sorry for him either. Sorry, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not going to be a fucking hypocrite. I'm just not. I think karma is working and people are getting what they fucking deserve. Just as the other idiot in jail who's going to be in jail for a long time because he cannot shut his mouth. And I'm on the sidelines listening to this shit all the time. Of course I listen to it when I know it does a show. Future don't look good for him either. It's a matter of time that the trolls disappear. And nature takes care of it where I don't have to do anything. So again, give me credit for being real anyway. Give me credit for speaking my mind and how I really feel. Instead of, I see people do this in life all the time. Where they're at each other's throats when they die. Oh, he's a good man. No, you hated the motherfucker. Tell the truth. Some people really despise other people. Then when they die, oh yeah, I feel sorry for them. I'm indifferent. Let's just say that I don't know if that's the right word. I'm kind of indifferent to the whole fucking thing. Because I don't really have anything that good to say about the guy. I really don't. Why am I going to pretend? I'm not going to pretend. I'm sorry. I can't. Because that would put me in a position of a lot of other trolls that jump fence all the time and bullshit. They're hot and cold on somebody. They're hot one day, they're cold on them another day. I just tell it like it is. No tears coming out of my eyes for this. None. Daisy was a good friend. I feel sorry for her that she lost Michael. I'm sure they kept on communicating. That's about it. No, I'm not going to celebrate. I'm not going to celebrate Michael's death. I'm not going to do that. I'm not that cold. I'm just telling it like it is. I want to be real. I don't want to pretend that he was my favorite person, because he wasn't. He wasn't. Nor was, if that's true about Jack Thompson, nor was Jack Thompson. And I'm not going to feel sorry about the other idiot in fucking jail. Well, he's having a hard time in fucking jail. He belongs in jail. And he's going to stay in jail if I can help it. At least I'm real. I'm telling you how I feel. I'm not going to pretend like some people are. I'm not going to pretend that any of these people are my favorite people. Karma is real. Karma came through. However, contrary to what you believe, I don't really wish death on anybody. And even those days when I was pissed off at Warren, don't forget, me and Warren, we used to talk quite a bit. Now, I'm not going to change things around and say that Warren was my favorite person. Warren was also instrumental, along with Fazio, in doing certain things on a certain case. Okay? You know, a lot of us say things out of anger. And yes, I've said things out of anger. And some things were wrong. But unlike other people on here, I'll admit to when I'm wrong about something. But God damn it, if I'm right about something, I'm going to go with it and tell you that I am right. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Now, as far as Warren's considered, he's alive and well. And remember, out of anger, me included, everybody else can say a lot of mean things about people. Absolutely. There was a time I began to like Warren. We were talking quite a bit. You guys don't understand. We were talking quite a bit. Of course, a lot of things were about Michael Fazio, but we talked about other things too. I'm not that cold. I even made an effort with Warren. A lot of things you don't know on here. You assume a lot of things, or you listen to all the bullshit on YouTube and you take everything to be real and true. This is YouTube. 95% of the things you hear on here are all fucking bullshit. I tell it like it is, and I'm not afraid to tell it like it is. That's what separates me from these other people on here. I will tell it like it is. I'm not going to pretend that things were all good. I have a good memory. I don't forget what somebody put me through. No, I don't forget that at all. And I never forget it. So forgive me. Your situation with Michael Fazio would be different than mine. You don't know the whole story with me and Michael. And if you don't, shut up. Michael was no innocent person. All these people in death, all of a sudden they're trying to praise him. Well, they know he was instrumental. He was an instigator. He was an antagonist. like the other guy in jail. He certainly was. He was no innocent person. Oh, now that they die, oh, he was a great guy. No, you were all just looking for a train wreck, because that's what you do. You're looking for train wrecks. And a lot of the people that are praising him or mourning his death, these are the same people. The same people that also gave Michael Fazio a lot of shit, or has taken a lot of shit from Michael Fazio. And he put out a lot of shit, and behind the scenes, the cruel things that he did. He was responsible for putting fucking flyers in my neighborhood in fucking Hawaii, telling people that you got this crazy guy, he's a child predator. So you want me to shed a tear about Michael Fazio? That's just not going to happen. And that's all I'm going to say. Not going to happen. One less fucking troll. Sound cold? Call it what you want. I'm just indifferent to the whole thing. Did I predict this was going to happen? You know I did. You absolutely know I did. I talked about it. I evaluated his lifestyle. I evaluated his obesity for how many years. I evaluated his diet. I evaluated him going to a $2 doctor because he didn't want to spend the money. This could have been averted, but he didn't want to spend the money. End of show.